Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Joy-Filled Universe podcast. If this happens to be your first time listening to the pod, welcome to a space where we come together every week and talk about self-development, transformation, and aligning with all of the incredible energy and joy that exists within the incredible and not to mention abundant universe. So I am your host, Lisa Ryan, and I am also your coach. By the way, I am actually a certified life and transitions coach as well as a professional coach. And I am most importantly your biggest cheerleader for living your most empowered and incredible authentic life. So that happened to be an extra long intro, wasn't it? And I guess it's because I'm really super excited about today's episode because we are going to be diving into a book that genuinely has become one of my guardrails in life. It's called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I read this book many years ago now, and I honestly keep it handy to serve as a frequent reminder. I even have it as a bookmark in several of my books. It is a super fast and easy read, and I'm actually going to leave the link for the book in my show notes if you're interested, and I'll put the link for the bookmark as well. And wait, hold 1 second here. Did she just say she's leaving a link in the show notes? Yeah, yes, she did, my friends, because I am growing. Your girl is building in some show notes, so go check them out if you're interested. All right, so back to the book. So The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Again, it's a super fast read, but the impact that it makes is massive. It is a book that's based on Toltec wisdom. And the Toltecs are an ancient civilization that thrived in central Mexico from around the 10th to the 12th centuries. And they were known for their spiritual influence, their impressive architecture, their warrior culture, and the Aztecs looked upon them as a very wise and advanced set of humans that preceded them. So with that, this book was written using the Toltec wisdom to give us a simple and powerful code of conduct, if you will, to break free from self-limiting beliefs and suffering and judgment that we can often induce upon ourselves. And I'm going to say that by practicing these 4 agreements consistently, we are contributing to supporting and growing in our power to transform our inner world along with the way we show up every day in our lives. So let's get excited and let's get this 4 agreement party started. Are you ready? Let's go. So one by one, I am going to break down each of the 4 agreements along with how we can apply them in our ever dynamic world that is routinely testing our peaceful and high vibe ways of living. So the first agreement, ready? The first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. We did a pod a little while ago on the power of words and how important it is to be so conscious and aware of the words that we use both externally and internally when having our own self-talk. Remember that Dr. Emoto word and water study that we discussed? Yeah, words really do matter. And if you don't know what I'm talking about here, then please take the time and go back and have a listen to that pod on words. I think it was called Word Power or something like that. Anyway, okay, so the dictionary definition of impeccable, well, I should say one of the dictionary definitions of impeccable is not capable of sinning. So being impeccable with your word, in a sense, means using words with truth and integrity and love, and not using words to harm, judge, gossip, or self-criticize. And this is so important because our words are powerful. They are like spells. We're either casting blessings or curses every time we speak. And you know who those words directly impact? You. That's right. They directly impact you. So think about how often we say things like, I'm so stupid. I'll never be enough. That guy is so annoying. Oh my God, what are those people thinking? I can't stand her. They're so selfish and so self-centered. I wish I was thinner. I wish I was smarter. I wish I was richer. Have you ever heard yourself say things like this, or even just a variation of them? Well, when we say stuff like this to ourselves, we are using words to reinforce things like limitations, resentment, and separation. So when it comes to self-talk, catch yourself. Catch yourself when you're saying things like, I'll never be enough, and replace it with truth-based kindness, like, I'm learning and making remarkable progress. And when you're communicating with others, speak with honesty and compassion. Avoid gossip and sarcasm. And also avoid words, and I'm going to throw in words with tone too, like that passive-aggressive kind of tone. Yeah. Avoid words and tone that are meant to hurt someone, because even when we are in the heat of conflict, we can be clear without being cruel. So now, something I really do love about being impeccable with our words is the words we choose can shape how others feel and perceive the world. So just a simple compliment or thoughtful message can totally lift up someone's entire day. And in some cases, this is what's really special. In some cases, without even ever knowing it, you can change someone's life just with your words and just with saying them at the very right time. And you may never know it, but you could do it, and you probably have done it. So folks, if we put impeccable focus on our words, we consciously choose words that empower us. And instead of saying things like, I'm so behind, we can say things like, I'm doing my best and that's enough. Instead of gossiping about someone, we choose curiosity, or better yet, choose silence. And being impeccable with our word also means being honest with yourself and with others. Because when we lie, exaggerate, manipulate, or speak in an intentionally passive-aggressive tone, we break our own integrity, which in turn creates internal stress. So when thinking through this first agreement and being impeccable with our word, perhaps internalize it as alignment between our thoughts, our words, our emotions, and our actions. When those four are in sync, we will be positioning ourselves with a high vibrational frequency of confidence and clarity, and most importantly, inner peace. All right. Now, the second agreement. Here we go. Number 2, don't take anything personally. Don't take anything personally. Oh, right? This one is a full stop, mic drop, life changer, especially if you can make this a part of your everyday practice. Ruiz says in his book, nothing others do is because of you. It's because of themselves. So when someone lashes out at you and says something very unkind, or if they ignore you or criticize you, it can absolutely 110% feel personal, right? And in many instances, we receive words as a reflection of our own self-worth. Yet, 99% of the time, when people behave this way, they are largely just projecting their own fears, insecurities, stress, and unprocessed pain. And guess what? If somebody compliments you, it's because of what they value. If somebody insults you, it's because of what they are struggling with. And now, I want to insert something here too that's very important. If we hear words that don't vibe for us, I'm not saying that we dismiss feedback or become emotionally detached. With the second agreement, what it really is saying is stop giving other people's opinions the power to define who we are, because not taking things personally, it's freedom. It's the difference between reacting and spiraling with all sorts of negative emotions after an awkward interaction and responding and staying calm and saying something like, what just occurred here was certainly not about me. So maybe try this the next time somebody disappoints you or triggers you, because it has nothing to do with you. So ask yourself, is this whole thing about me or is it about them? And then pause for a bit. Just give yourself some grace, because that question alone is going to give you the space to respond rather than reacting. All right, so we got impeccable with your word, don't take things personally, and agreement number 3 is don't make assumptions. Yes, we have all done it, and we will all probably still do it from time to time. I mean, if somebody doesn't text us back, right, for a long while, we sometimes assume that they might be mad at us. I'm honestly going to say how many times I have gone back and maybe reread a text message wondering, I don't think that there's anything bad in there that they would get mad at least I hope not. I mean, that in and of itself, I'm sure we have all dealt with that. How about if we walk into a room and somebody gives us like that look that feels a bit, sideways? Well, we likely then assume that they either didn't like us or that we did something wrong. And now how about if our partner says something like just a bit off and outside of their usual way? We might assume like, oh my God, do they not love me anymore? Or perhaps they are starting to like me a little bit less today. I don't know. And so these are all just these assumptions that we just put together in our own mind. And here's the thing, our fabulous and very complex minds, well, they are meaning-making machines. And if we're not conscious, we are going to fill in all the blanks with fear-based thoughts. And Ruiz says, the problem with making assumptions is that we believe they are true. We make an assumption, we misunderstand, we take it personally, and we end up creating a whole drama for nothing. And he also goes on to message how assumptions can poison communication, relationships, and self-perception. So what's the antidote here? What is something that we can do when not making assumptions? Or to not make assumptions, I should say. Well, how about this? Ask questions. Clarify intentions. Be curious and express what you want clearly, rather than assuming others know what we want or feel, because guess what? They're not mind readers. And you know who else is not a mind reader? You. So instead of assuming your friend is upset, just ask, hey, is everything okay between us? Instead of assuming your boss is disappointed in you, then ask, hey, would you mind if we had a quick check-in on about how I'm doing? It's very simple. And one more thing that I want to throw in here from my personal perspective is assume positive intent until proven otherwise. We never really truly know what other people are going through, so allowing some grace and positive intent can really go a long way. So now, by not making any assumptions, we are preventing misunderstandings, drama, and most importantly, pointless suffering and anxiety that is usually unnecessary and all for nothing in the end. And speaking of end, that's going to bring us to the last agreement, number 4, which is always do your best. Yes, this last agreement really truly brings it all together. And I say that because even when we mess up, when we aren't impeccable with our word, when we do take things personally, when we do make assumptions, this agreement reminds us all to offer ourselves some grace. Doing our best doesn't mean perfection. It means showing up with what we've got today. Not more, not less. And our best, I'm putting up air quotes, our best is going to change. It changes based on our energy, our mood, our health, and circumstances in general. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay. The key is to show up fully and give what you can without any self-judgment or regret. So for example, at work, you're not going to be at peak performance every single day. So some days your best might be smashing a huge, robust to-do list, getting everything done on time or ahead of schedule. Others, it might just be showing up. You made it there, okay? You showed up. And if that's your best, that's good. That's okay. In relationships, doing our best could look like communicating with love and good intention. And from a personal growth perspective, well, we aren't always going to remember to journal a gratitude list or meditate or stay positive and thinking all great thoughts all the time. But we can do our best by remembering to be grateful, catch ourselves when heading down a negative path, because even if it's a bit messy here, it still builds positive momentum and self-respect. And even when we're having a bad day, because there's some days that we just have a bad day, we can still do our best. If our best is taking a sick day and giving our body rest, then guess what? That works. That is doing our best. And Ruiz says about this agreement, under any circumstance, simply do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. And I'm just going to say one more really big plug for the fourth agreement. It aligns beautifully with manifestation work because when we do our best, we tend to take aligned action, we stay open, and we trust the process, which means we are in the sweet spot of co-creating miracles with the universe. And I am always available for a miracle from and with the universe. Always here. Miracles are always welcome here. Thank you, universe. So there we have it. That's it. The 4 agreements. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. And always do your best. Is it simply stated? Yes, it sure is. Is it easy to accomplish? Not always. Is it powerful and life-changing if you can make these all a part of your daily practice? Absolutely. Absolutely. It certainly is. So take a swing. Give it a shot. Write these agreements down today. Remind yourself with a bookmark in your daily diary, or perhaps incorporate them in your morning mindfulness space, because the more we think through these agreements, the more we form the habit of making them a part of who we are and how we show up for ourselves, along with those that we love and really care about. And that's a wrap. That's a wrap for this week. When we are impeccable with our word, we don't take things personally. We stop making assumptions and we always do our best. And what is so awesome about all of those together is we set ourselves free. That's right. That is freedom. And to leave you with a quote from Mr. Don Miguel Ruiz, let everything you do be an expression of love. And I sure hope you found this episode to be helpful, because it was surely an expression of my love and appreciation for you. So if you did find it helpful, please do me a solid and rate, follow, leave a review, and share this pod with a friend. Honestly, this all helps me out so much, and it only takes just a few seconds. So thank you. I really appreciate your support. And with that, I am your host, Lisa Ryan. This is the Joy-Filled Universe podcast, where we explore all the tools and tricks that are going to make your universe even more joyful than it already is. And I will see you next week. Bye.